Welcome back everyone to another NRG, the first of 2020, and here we are on the Atari ST. This is a system that the channel will be going in a direction of this year. We're going to have a bit of an Atari ST renaissance in 2020, and I thought we'll start with one of the maybe overrated games, people may say, Xenon 2, a bit of a classic, the Megablast. Lovely soundtrack, of course. This famed for its soundtrack, in fact. Of course, done by the Bitmap brothers, coded by the Assembly Line back in 1989, and released by Imageworks. And so yeah, the Amiga and the ST versions were the two initial versions, and then later down the line it got ported to the likes of the Mega Drive, the Sega Master System, the Game Boy, and even the Sharp X68000. Indeed, that's an interesting version. In fact, we'll cover that later on in another video, I believe. But anyway, here we go with the Megablast Level 1. And yeah, this game is essentially famed for its graphics. It's got lovely visuals, really lovely visuals. Bitmap Brothers are obviously famous for their rock and metal effects, organic stuff going on. It really looks very, very lovely. And I love the colours on this. Really nice, organic, earthy colours, dirty and gritty. It feels like a shoot 'em up. You know, if you're really in a kind of futuristic, nasty space war, this is the kind of thing it's sort of like. Yeah, see. And then it's got that obviously hip-hop dance soundtrack to it. Obviously a stripped-down version in the levels, and of course the actual when the game loads up, it's got the full sampled version of the track by Bomb the Bass. I think it's called Assault on Precinct 13 or something like that, apart from their EP of that. And yeah, of course it sounds better on the Amiga. But the ST does a really fine job here. I think the graphics are absolutely spot on. The movement certainly is as well. The responses are really good. There's a little bit of a sort of like a function delay in the firing, which is always a mechanic which is familiar with Xenon 2 for some reason. I've always found that with the Mega Drive version as well, oddly, and the Amiga version for that matter. But yeah, it's not really known for its gameplay, because at the end of the day, the gameplay is a little bit hit and miss. The collision detection is a little bit off now and then. Certainly, like I've always said, the firing mechanic can feel a little bit off. Certainly, the bullets, when they're so like there, for instance, is a good example right there. Bullets tend to sort of like go straight through enemies sometimes. A little bit too tricky and tough in certain spaces. The reverse mechanic, because not many vertical shooters, and this is a tracking vertical shooter. It's constantly moving, and you can scroll backwards, which is an interesting, unique mechanic. Oh, get out of my way, worm thing. And that can get you out of tight spots, like that dead end there, for instance. But you can go down blind alleys all the time, and it's very frustrating to do that. So level design is not great at the best of times. Like I say, too much of it is too challenging. I think there's 5 levels to the game. There's 5 levels to the game, and there's mini bosses and also primary bosses. And obviously the objective is to get to the end and destroy everything, kill and maim the lot. Another memorable thing about it is the shop, though, the Galaxy shop, and we'll get to that soon. Hopefully, if I get that far, I should do. I can normally get to level 3 in any general setting. We're obviously not going to play to level 3. Not doing too well here. I'm a bit ropey on the. Playing on the ST. I haven't played the ST version for quite a while. The last version I played was the Mega Drive version, in fact, which is not as good as the ST version. But there we go. But like I say, it's really known for its visuals, because they are quite stunning. They were stunning at the time, and they still stand up today, I think. The gameplay, however, doesn't. Here we go. Here he is. I don't know what his name is. Colin, I think this guy's name is. The Colin, the Predator lookalike. I love the little fact he's listening on the headphones to Megablast. nice little added little cheeky gag there. Yeah, this is the Galactic shop where you can get your power-ups. So the little bubbles that you collect during the game, yeah, they're basically giving you credits, money, where you can buy your power-ups from Colin here. And that stops midway through every level and at the end of each level, I believe, as well. And you need those power-ups, trust me, you really do. I've got my reverse fire at the moment, but soon I'm going to come across my sidearm rocket launcher thing, which is always quite good. The enemy sort of patterns start to really get erratic sometimes as well. I mean, so erratic to the fact that it's very difficult to predict where they're actually going to go. There is a pattern, but my word, sometimes that, there we go, bang, kill them all with an all-screen clearer bomb blast. I personally really enjoy the game, but I know that a lot of people don't find a lot of fun in it. There, I'm going to have to continue now. Okay, so let's continue. Straight away, I've used a continue. You get 3 continues for the game, by the way. Here we go. Right, okay, let's try and get to the end of the level and get to the second level at least. We'll get that far. Yeah, like I was saying, some people really don't get on board with the Xenon franchise full stop, and Xenon 2 being a particular offender, generally because of its quite hollow gameplay, its difficulty. It's just way too difficult in certain points, too frustrating for certain things. Some people don't like the music. I personally adore the music. I think the audio on it is great. I think some of the sound effects as well are also very, very good. Yes, it is a loop of the edited soundtrack of Bomb Based, but you know, it works for me. It really works for me. There are some other versions of the game which certainly got better audio than the first game, I must admit. Of course, with the first game, of course, you could transition between a ground-based tank thing and a fighter craft. You can't do that in Xenon 2. You're just the attack craft. There's a really nice, interesting artwork on the covers as well. Very nice, odd graphical sort of early sort of CGI graphics illustrations on the cover art as well. So it's really all about the presentation and the show, really, this game. Like I say, the menus are really well done as well, with the zoom outs and the zoom ins of the text fonts and everything. That's quite intuitive and sort of draws you in. With that banging soundtrack as well, it's really all about presentation, graphics, the fluidity of it. It scrolls really quite nicely as well, and of course the audio. But when we get down to the brass tacks of it, if you stack it up against some of the best vertical shooters, it's not there. It's definitely not there as one of the best shooters. Like I said, the difficulty curve is way too harsh in certain spaces. We've got some serious collision detection stuff going on. There we go. I was just trying to shoot that guy at the side and nothing happened. Nice enemy though. No, it looks nice. We've got my rocket launcher coming up here. I think we've got my rocket launcher coming up here. Oh, we've got these trilobite things. Weird looking. I do like some of the enemy sprites. Some of the enemy sprites are really quite well done, and they are like all this organic stuff, gunge stuff going on. Oh, look at that! Oh, that was horrible. They got caught in the wall. That happens way too much as well. No damage, of course, when you hit the wall, which is another bizarre thing. There we go. Got me rocket launcher. Now they're all going to die. This is quite impressive when you get a lot of this. When you get a lot of this like high firepower. Very rarely any slowdown at all, if any. You know, to be honest, I don't think I've felt any slowdown at all. And there can be a lot of things going on the screen right there. You've got the moving cash bubble things. You've got lots of enemies, lots of bullets flying around the place. No slowdown at all. Here we are with the boss. Great big shrimp. It looks like a great big bloody shrimp. Anyway, and this is where the reverse function really comes into fact handy when I can get a chance to do it. There we go. Go back, get him in the eye. Go back a bit more, get him in the eye, can't get past the tentacle. And so we'll just cap this guy off, and then I think we'll wrap the review up there. Because there's not really much more I can say about Xenon 2. Presentation wise, it oozes class, it oozes style, it oozes aesthetics, and it oozes its audio quality. But it doesn't ooze gameplay and playability and longevity either, because it's got fundamental collision flaws, control flaws, and of course inherent difficulty flaws for my money personally. But anyway, I'll leave you with Colin in the shop and I'll bid you farewell. Thanks for watching. Novabug out. Hey, Novabug here. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please support the channel by liking and commenting, and of course subscribing if you haven't already done. If you would like to support me further, please consider joining my bug army via Patreon. And also don't forget to follow me over at Facebook, Twitter, BitChute and Twitch. And finally, a very special mention to my bug army generals Sam M, Sweet Nanook and Craig Harrison. Thank you everyone for supporting me. Novabug out.